to the 2020 Chicago Engineers Foundation Incentive Award celebration. Thank you so much for spending your Friday night with us. Today, we honor our 76 high school and college award recipients, the CEF Class of 2020, Chicago's future engineers. Humans are a highly adaptable species, and that is fortunate news during these uncertain times. That these students are here with us today, these scholars, these future engineers, the best and brightest in the city of Chicago, speaks to their adaptability, not to mention their fortitude, their determination, and their academic prowess. After we send them on their way this evening, off to college for the first time for those just graduating high school, or back to college for our returning scholars, or out into the workforce for those graduating, there's a whole lot more unpredictability to come. It will be a challenge. But we have before us 76 students that are up to a challenge. And I'm proud to say that CEF has been up to the challenge as well. We have adapted. Of course we have, because the current crisis only elevates our mission to encourage and empower Chicago students to become future engineers. Here we are, for example, at our first ever virtual ceremony, a different venue for the first time in 50 years of awards. And our donors, sponsors, partners, board members, associates, and volunteers have selflessly stepped up, not just to continue, but in fact, even increase the services we provide to help our students stay focused and on track towards their goals. Really, guys, I'm really proud of you. What you've accomplished is really remarkable. And I want to talk about a few of the things you've managed to do this year despite the crisis. When schools closed, we expanded our outreach program to include virtual presentations and panel discussions. Remarkably, CEF volunteers actually set a new record for outreach, making more than 50 visits to schools, community organizations, and STEM events, impacting over 1,500 students. And then the incentive award program is thriving as well. We continue to see more student applications from communities throughout Chicago, and the academic qualifications of our applicants continue to increase each year. And then there's our Student Success Initiative. Our career development program finished the year stronger than ever and more important than ever, given these challenging times. We developed an array of online resources when our students unexpectedly came home from school, and many lost vital internship opportunities. Our career resources are now available online, anytime, anywhere. We also offer monthly student professional networking, a new LinkedIn group for all of our recipients and alumni, mentoring opportunities, resume evaluations, and mock interview practice, as well as assistance finding internships and full-time positions. I encourage all of our award recipients and alumni to jump into our career development activities throughout the academic year. This is how you really extract value from being a scholar. Whether you are heading back to school, it has never been more important to get ready for your future career now and build your professional network. CEF's engineering professionals have got your back. So now I'd like to pass the floor to First Vice President of CEF, Rebecca Wingate. Rebecca?
CEF incentive award sponsors are individuals, families, professional associations, and companies committing to fully fund awards for our students. Some sponsors support annual awards for different students each year, and others may follow specific students through 4 years of study. Sponsors may communicate with their students throughout the academic year and also assist with internship placement. Our sponsorship program grows each year, and we are grateful for every partnership. We would like to share our thanks to all of the 2020 Incentive Award sponsors, and they are the American Public Works Association, Chicago Metro Chapter, City Branch, AmVets Post number 66, Ms. Joan Berry, Beam Patent Law Firm, Mr. and Mrs. Sid Bennett, Mr. Eric Kempel and Dr. Philbin Im, the Kless Family Foundation, Mr. and Mrs. Mark and Joni Kroll, Mr. and Mrs. Armand Dinverno, Mr. Phil Dodson and Ms. Nancy Ross, Mrs. Arlene Ekman, Mr. James Gillespie, Ms. Sharon Harmsworth and Ms. Diane Ferrari, Mr. and Mrs. Stephen Hoover, the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, IEEE, Chicago section, the ITW Foundation, Mr. Michael Lev, the Curtis Linder family, the Liston Legal Group, Mrs. Martha Jean Martin, the Murtaugh family, Mr. and Mrs. William J. Neeson, Mr. Thomas Penn, the Primera Foundation, Miss Francis and Ann Roche, Mr. Martin Ross, Riley Intellectual Property Law, Rotary One Chicago, Dr. Aaron L.D. Sibley with family and friends, Mr. Stephen Schlegel, the Sinka family, the Radomski family, George and Judy Thomas, the TTX Company, Trans Systems Corporation, and Ms. P.K. Whitlock. Please welcome Second Vice President Tom Riley.
CEF is proud to be one of 3 nonprofit organizations with a home within the Union League Club of Chicago. The Engineers Foundation has been a part of the ULCC since the 1970s. The club and its board of directors, members, and staff are tremendous supporters of the CEF. ULCC members serve on our board, volunteer, make contributions, and many are working behind the scenes in support of our students. Thank you for your partnership. Now I'd like to present Nancy Ross, President of the Union League Club of Chicago, who is also a former president of the Chicago Engineers Foundation and one of our emeritus directors.
Thank you, Tom. And as president of the Union League Club of Chicago, I want to welcome all the engineering students, your families, your teachers, and your mentors that are here with you to celebrate this great honor. We are honoring 76 high school and college students receiving the Chicago Engineers Foundation Incentive Awards as the class, the CEF class of 2020. As Eric mentioned, despite all the challenge of these last few months, these students have been resilient. The number of returning college students that have received the CEF award and applied back for their next year of schooling is 90%. And as what I understand is, that is a very, very impressive rate of retention for students continuing in engineering. Also, our competition for the high school graduates, our high school seniors who will be rising freshmen in college, was also strong for this year's award. We received more than 50 outstanding applicants, which were carefully reviewed by CEF volunteers to select this year's Rising College Freshman Award recipients. And I'd like to give you the highlights of our class of 2020. First of all, the class of 2020 is almost equally female and male. More than 40% are the first generation in their family to be attending college. The average GPA for all of the recipients is 3.6, and the high school graduates is 3.8. And this is a very impressive number too. In addition, our high school students, the average of their community service hours this year is 170 hours each. So these are people that are going to give back to our community. They are definitely people that should be engineers. The class of 2020 are students from public, private, parochial, and charter high schools throughout the city of Chicago. And then many of them also cross the city daily to attend their high school, taking 3 or 4 buses, maybe taking the train. Some of them go to high schools just outside the city borders. That's dedication. This class is studying many facets of engineering in college, ranging from civil and mechanical engineering to biomedical, aerospace, and computer science. They are attending some of the finest engineering schools in the country, from local universities like the Illinois Institute of Technology, Northwestern University, the University of Chicago, University of Illinois at Chicago, and the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, Michigan, Wisconsin, Purdue, and then to Stanford, Princeton, Yale, Harvard, MIT, and many more. The CEF award recipients are in engineering classrooms across the country and represent some of the best of the next generation of engineers. On behalf of the Union League Club of Chicago, I congratulate the CEF class of 2020. I congratulate the Chicago Engineers Foundation. It is an honor. It is an honor to support your academic pursuits. And now I think we go to Eric.
Thank you very much, Nancy. In celebration of 50 years of incentive awards, the Chicago Engineers Foundation leadership last year presented our inaugural Distinguished Alumni Award to Mr. George Smith, a member of the CEF class of 1971 and a co-founder of the National Society of Black Engineers. Now, as president of the Chicago Engineers Foundation, in addition to George, this year I would like to thank Tess Russell, Pat Maloney, Mike Caruta, Victor Cueto, Alan Wen, and Kevin Banks Jr. as alumni who have come back to support our organization as part of our associate council. And frankly, I would like to honor all of our alumni, and they number in the thousands. In these unprecedented times, we celebrate each of the engineering professionals who started on their career path as CEF award recipients. It is a true honor to be part of generations of engineering careers. Rebecca, back to you.
In addition to the incentive awards, our college-level applicants had the opportunity to participate in the second year of the Because of CEF video competition. This initiative started in honor of our 50th anniversary and our students. The Because of CEF video competition asks our college awardees and recent alumni to create videos sharing the impact their CEF awards have had as they are pursuing their engineering career goals. Thank you to all of the students and alumni who participated in the contest. Special thanks to CEF directors Paul Barter, Michael Driscoll, and William Williams, who continue to lead this initiative. We received many entries, and we will premiere 2 of our finalists today. But first, the following is a montage of last year's videos. Here are some of our 2019 award recipients in their own words.
Because of CEF, I've received so much support and mentorship on what it's like to be an engineer, and that has allowed me to pursue some really cool opportunities.
Because of CEF, I'm able to take full advantage of my undergraduate experience here at the University of Michigan.
I've met professionals in the field and even recognized them when they come to speak at the Civil and Environmental Engineering Conference Room at Northwestern.
Because of CEF, I get to stress less about finances and focus more on gaining real-world engineering experience.
So I would love to thank CEF so much from the bottom of my heart for your support in helping make this dream a reality.
The leadership of the Chicago Engineers Foundation extends its gratitude to the individuals, corporations, and organizations who contributed to our efforts this year. Thank you for your generosity and your support of our scholars, particularly this year. We are presenting a total of almost $100,000 to our class of 2020. Together, we are empowering Chicago's future engineers when it is needed the most. We will now announce all of our award recipients by grade level and in alphabetical order. The students receiving sponsored awards will be noted as we announce all of our class of 2020 members. And to start our award presentation, here is Michael Driscoll, Chair of the Awards Committee and Secretary of the Board of Directors.
Thank you, Eric. Please meet the CEF Rising Freshmen, recent high school graduates who will start their engineering studies this fall. Welcome to the Chicago Engineers Foundation community. First is Jordan Bracey, majoring in mechanical engineering at Florida A&M University, receiving the Denverno Engineering Award sponsored by the Denverno family. Abigail Chavez, majoring in chemical engineering at the University of Wisconsin at Madison and receiving the Bernard James Dillon Award sponsored by Dr. Aaron L.D. Sibley, as well as family friends in honor of Bernard James Jim Dillon Jr. Samuel Cooper, majoring in computer engineering at the University of Wisconsin at Madison and receiving the Roche Family Award sponsored by Francis and Anne Roche. Moz Durrani, majoring in engineering at the Illinois Institute of Technology and receiving the Thomas Family Award sponsored by George and Judith Thomas. Maximilio Finch, majoring in computer engineering at the University of Iowa and receiving the Barry Family Award sponsored by Joan Barry. Dua Hossain, majoring in mechanical engineering at the University of Illinois at Chicago and a Primera Engineering Award recipient sponsored by the Primera Foundation. Connor McNamara, majoring in computer science at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign and receiving the Semple M Award sponsored by Mr. Eric Semple and Dr. Pilbin M in memory of Julie Semple. Michael Nilligan, majoring engineering at Purdue University and receiving the Riley Purdue Engineering Award sponsored by Riley Intellectual Property Law. Kristen Ortiz, majoring in computer science at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign and receiving the Whitlock Award for UIUC Engineering sponsored by Ms. P.K. Whitlock. Peter Pao Huang, majoring in computer science at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign and receiving a Simple M Award. Giovanni Pete, majoring in mechanical engineering at Marquette University and receiving a Premier Engineering Award. Elias Rivera Vasquez, majoring in engineering at Northwestern University and receiving the Ross Dodson Award, sponsored by Nancy Ross and Phil Dodson. Luria Tapia, majoring in engineering at Case Western University and receiving the Cinca Award, presented in honor of George O. Cinca to a graduating high school senior who has demonstrated outstanding commitment to community service, sponsored by the Cinca family and friends. Lauren Weaver, majoring in bioengineering and biomedical engineering at the University of Michigan and receiving the Wendy Galena M. Linder Memorial Education Award, sponsored by Mr. and Mrs. Curtis Linder. Molly Warenberg, majoring in computer science at the University of California, Los Angeles, and receiving the Dudley Warner Press Award, sponsored by Mr. and Mrs. William J. Nissen. And finally, Jackson Zhang, majoring in mechanical engineering at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and receiving a Kroll Family Award, sponsored by Joni and Mark Kroll. Now to continue, here is immediate past president of CEF, Jim Cherlevin.
Thanks, Michael. Before we announce our rising sophomore recipients, here is one of our Because of CEF finalist videos by rising sophomore Cyrilla.
Because of CEF, I have been able to secure my first year of college funding. The CEF award has been a tremendous help in lifting the financial burden that many of us have. In doing so, I took the first steps in accomplishing my goal to continue my education by going to college. College opens a tremendous amount of windows for opportunities for me to exploit my potential. I not only can learn more about chemical engineering, but also partake in organizations where I can contribute to society. For example, this past year, I was the youngest member in my chapter to be sponsored and attended the annual IKE conference in Orlando, Florida. IKE being the American Institute of Chemical Engineers. I also completed my first chemical engineering project where I worked alongside a group of empowering female students to create a dye-sensitized solar cell. I had the liberty of being part of my university's Society of Women in Engineering chapter, as well as became the secretary of the Indonesian Student Association in Chicago. All of this would not have been possible without the awards and scholarships I received, including the prestigious one from CEF. I look forward to learning and contributing more in the future. Thank you, CEF.
And here are all of our Rising Sophomore recipients for 2020. First is Zachary Anderson, University of Notre Dame, majoring in computer science. Raymond Bernardo at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, majoring in mechanical engineering and receiving the Kroll Family Award. Henry Beeving, University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, majoring in engineering mechanics and receiving a Penn Engineering Award sponsored by Tom Penn. Frank Burke Olson, Northwestern University, majoring in mechanical engineering. Colin Butler, Miami University of Ohio, majoring in mechanical engineering and receiving a Primera Engineering Award. Kelly Chu, University of Michigan, majoring in engineering. Cameron Cole, University of Southern California, majoring in computer science. Liam Coughlin, Purdue University, majoring in aerospace engineering and receiving the Michael Radomski Memorial Incentive Award, sponsored by the Radomski family. Dasik Surilla, University of Illinois at Chicago, chemical engineering. Maureen DeVos, Purdue University, majoring in civil engineering and receiving a Primera Engineering Award. Gabriella Finch, University of Iowa, majoring in civil engineering and receiving the Trans Systems Corporation Award for Civil Engineering, sponsored by Trans Systems, Mr. Martin Ross and Mr. Michael Lev. Michael Henze, Clemson University, majoring in industrial engineering and receiving the Beam Patent Law Firm Award, sponsored by the Beam Patent Law Firm. Thomas Hoos, University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, majoring in mechanical engineering. Michael Kadis, Purdue University, majoring in industrial engineering and receiving the Murtaugh Family Award, sponsored by Courtney and Barry Murtaugh. McKenna Kalianis, University of Alabama, majoring in chemical engineering. Daniel King, University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, majoring in electrical engineering. Vladimir Martinez, University of Michigan, majoring in aerospace engineering. Joseph McCary, Harvard University, majoring in engineering. Diana Miller, University of Michigan, industrial engineering, receiving the Kroll Family Award. Jack Ross, St. Louis University, majoring in mechanical engineering. Kieran Sheridan, University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, majoring in mechanical engineering. Ian Shamandel, Northwestern University, majoring in bioengineering. Guadalupe Solis, University of Illinois at Chicago, majoring in electrical engineering, receiving the IEEE Chicago Section Award, sponsored by the Chicago section of the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. Delacion Summers, MIT, majoring in electrical engineering, receiving the Bennett Family Award, sponsored by Mr. and Mrs. Sid Bennett. Andrew Thompson, University of Wisconsin at Madison, majoring in mechanical engineering. Kevin Williams, Engineering Pathways Program at Wright Junior College and the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, majoring in mechanical engineering and receiving the Jan Martin Award, sponsored by the Martin family. To present the Rising Junior Award recipients, here is Tom Riley.
Thank you, Jim. The Rising Juniors for 2020 are Vivian Aduang at Stanford University and studying mechanical engineering. Stefan Bourgeon at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and studying mechanical engineering. Nora Chambers at Northwestern University and studying bioengineering. Joseph Henze at Clemson University, studying industrial engineering and receiving a Beam Patent Law Firm Award. Sophie Keller at Cornell University, studying computer science, receiving a Semple M Award. Joe Krezik at The Ohio State University, studying industrial engineering, receiving a Kroll Family Award. Kimberly Liu at Princeton University, studying chemical engineering and receiving the Harmsworth Ferrari Award sponsored by Ms. Sharon Harmsworth and Ms. Diane Ferrari. Kyle McNamara at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, studying computer science, receiving a Gillespie Engineering Incentive Award sponsored by Mr. Jim Gillespie. Nina Onyamiziam at Princeton University and studying computer engineering. Pratik Patel at Illinois Institute of Technology, studying computer science. Thomas Phelan at The Ohio State University, studying computer science. Julian Robinson at Case Western Reserve University, studying computer science. Chloe Swofford at University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, studying computer engineering, receiving a Penn Engineering Award. Now to introduce our rising seniors, here is Rebecca Wingate.
Before we announce our rising senior recipients, here's another Because of CEF finalist video by rising senior Elizabeth Trefnick.
Because of CEF, I have gotten to explore who I am. As a computer engineering major at the University of Notre Dame, there are many assumptions made about me, from what jobs I'll accept post-graduation to what kind of extracurricular activities I like. Because of CEF, I was able to attend Think Chicago's Chicago Idea Week events, where I worked on a civic tech project and got to visit different tech companies based in Chicago. This expanded my knowledge of types of jobs available, especially close to my home. Because of CEF, at school I am able to spend time participating in different activities outside of the classroom, like marching band and PEMCO, a student-run musical theater group. From these activities, I've made some of my best friends that are both in my engineering classes and not, and have been able to express my more creative side that I can't always show within my courses. Because of CEF, I've been able to find and become a better me. Thank you.
And here are all of our rising seniors for 2020. Erica Anderson at Case Western Reserve University, studying chemical engineering. Jorge Barrios at University of Illinois at Chicago, studying computer science. Brett Bittner at Valparaiso University, studying mechanical engineering and receiving a Rotary One Foundation Award sponsored by Rotary One Foundation of the Rotary Club of Chicago. Michael Bump at Northwestern University, studying industrial engineering. Sarah Coughlin at Northwestern University, studying bioengineering and receiving a Gillespie Engineering Incentive Award. Ying Guan at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, studying mechanical engineering. Jay Huang at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, studying computer engineering. Donica Jaco at the University of Michigan, studying bioengineering. Mark Jiang at Northwestern University, studying computer science. Matthew Cadis, studying at the University of Kentucky, studying electrical engineering and receiving the Ekman Family Award sponsored by Mrs. Arlene Ekman in memory of Donald Ekman. David Kierpiek at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, studying civil engineering and receiving a Rotary One Foundation Award. Victoria Krummick at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, studying bioengineering and receiving the Idris and Stephen Hoover Award, sponsored by Mrs. and Mr. Stephen Hoover. Alexander Marks at the Purdue University, studying electrical engineering. Max Mitchell at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, studying computer engineering. Peter Motika at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, studying chemical engineering. Veronica Meislak at the University of Michigan, studying civil engineering and receiving the APWA Samuel A. Greeley Founders Scholarship Award, sponsored by the City Branch of the American Public Works Association, Chicago Metro Chapter. Uchenna Nyewi at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, studying systems engineering and receiving a Kemple M Award. Carolina Rack at the University of Michigan, studying mechanical engineering. Ava Sherry at Harvey Mudd College, studying engineering and receiving the APWA Emil Nigro PE Memorial Scholarship Award, sponsored by the City Branch of the American Public Works Association, Chicago Metro Chapter. Elizabeth Travnik at the University of Notre Dame, studying computer engineering and receiving a Rotary One Foundation Award. Yesenia Uloa at Stanford University, studying engineering. Eric?
Thank you very much, Becky. Congratulations to the class of 2020. Everybody in your muted state, give a round of applause for our class of 2020. And now, moving on to our video awards, we are pleased to announce that Dazik Cirilla is the second place winner of the Because of CEF video contest. And our first place winner is, with a little virtual drum roll, Elizabeth Travnik. So congratulations to you both, and you will both receive an additional monetary prize for your work. I should also point out that this year's videos will be available to view on the CEF website and our social media platforms in the coming days. I know that the sound didn't come across very well, so you can click on the links on our website and social media to hear those videos in full and listen to those in full. Congratulations, and thank you for sharing your experiences with CEF. It's an honor for us to know and share how much CEF is helping you reach your engineering career goals. And thank you all for joining us for this year's award celebration, Class of 2020. We are honored to celebrate your achievements. As we continue to navigate this unprecedented time, know that the Chicago Engineers Foundation will continue to be a resource you can reach out to anytime as you start your studies this fall. Use our virtual resources and connections to network with your fellow students and professional peers. We are an engineering community working together to support your career goals. Students, I can't stress enough that the check you receive from us is only a small part of the value you get from being a CEF scholar. It's really up to you to step up and take advantage of everything else we can offer you. Now, I know this virtual reception can hardly replace the experience of meeting together in the Grand Union League Club of Chicago and networking with fellow students, donors, and professional engineers. But we're going to try to recreate at least the networking portion of that. So we will now transition to our virtual networking reception. If you have not already RSVP'd to attend this special reception, then please click the Zoom link in the chat bar now to reserve a spot. You will receive your own personal link to join via email right away if you do that. When you join the reception, we will arrange everyone in small breakout sessions so you can have some small group conversations, similar to sitting at one of the round tables with students and donors and other friends of CEF. I look forward to seeing you all there at the reception in just a few minutes. So be well, stay safe, and thank you to everyone for being here to celebrate our class of 2020. Thank you.